Marvel Legends has officially announced their new line, Maximum Marvel Legends. Today we're going to talk about what we think the prices could be on that Spider-Man, because I'm a little scared, Jordan. And then we're going to talk about some figures that we think could be accompanying that Spider-Man in the Maximum line. Stay tuned and let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, here with my co-host, Jordan, and today we're talking about the Maximum Marvel Legends. Now, that Spider-Man looks pretty sweet, Jordan. All the hands, all the web effects you could really need. I mean, maybe you would want some wired web effects, but as far as
those
like projectile web
eyes, I love.
Yeah. I mean, better hips.
I even like the effect with the web shooter, which I didn't really think I'd be into, but I like the way that looks, actually, that it's like the whole arm. And the way that the web hands have those like bent finger type things going on.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like straight.
Yeah.
So I think they did a lot of cool work on that.
I agree. Don't
need the unmasked head sculpt so much, but
yeah. I feel like that's just kind of like, if you're going to make a deluxe Spider-Man, they have to throw it in there. But yeah, I would have much rather skipped on that and maybe gotten something else. But yeah,
it's Peter's face when he's reflecting on his life and everything he's been through. It's like, I hope I'm not a clone.
I hope I'm not a clone. Yeah, I agree. Sorry. I think I do want that Spider-Man, and I know you want that Spider-Man. But now let's talk price. Now, I think bare minimum, there's no way it's going to cost less than $35. At $35, Jordan, I would assume we're both buying this, right?
Yeah, I would absolutely get it at $35. I'm going to be honest, Dakota. I think that's pretty wishful thinking.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I know maybe we've had over/under estimations on prices. I'd be quite shocked if it was $35.
Yeah.
For me,
I feel like
I really
Like where do you think? Because okay, we'll go high, because I think I've seen a lot of people, and I don't know if this is just, maybe they're guessing high so that when it comes out and it's lower, they can be excited about it, or they're just preparing for the worst. The highest number I've seen reasonably that it's going to be is $50.
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's as high as it'll go. I don't know if it'll be quite that. I could see it being more like 40, 45. Like that, maybe $44.99 or something, just so it's not actually 50. To me, that seems more likely than definitely a 35. I think 50 is going to be on the high end, though, and I would
you
hope
still buy it at 50?
I don't know, because I am quite man. Don't do that.
I'll tell you right now, if it's 50, I'm not buying it.
Yeah,
I'm passing.
I want to say no, Dakota, but you know how much I love my Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there's no doubt that it looks good. It's going to be fun when you get it in hand, but when I'm comparing $50, because I was trying to look on like what other things are available at other prices, and the Red Hulk, the Captain America figures from the movie, those are $40. And those are deluxe figures, so it would make sense that you would have similar pricing there, especially with like Red Hulk is a bigger figure. It's not like he's coming with a ton of stuff, but still, deluxe figure.
Substantial.
And then, I mean, I think when you compare these Spider-Man, like this Spider-Man with that Falcon and that Captain America, the wings and the extra head and stuff, like that Spider-Man's looking way better. But maybe that's just me liking comic figures more. I just don't think you can go up to 50 and still justify it for a standard sized figure. Just because he comes with web effects and some hands and stuff, that to me, I don't see the value at 50. I love the figure and I really want it. Not for $50 though.
Yeah, I don't think it deserves to be 50 for sure. Just, I mean, and like the web effects and stuff are cool, but some of those for me are kind of take it or leave it with all of them.
Right.
Like, I don't think I need all that personally, and I'm pretty happy. You know, I got my Mayfex Spider-Man for this exact reason, Dakota, so I wouldn't need to keep buying Spider-Man. So I'll have to mull that over. But yeah, that'd make it a little harder for me at 50. If it's like 35, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
40, I'd still probably be like, I think I'd like it. 50, I'm gonna have to stop and reflect, because I don't like that if that's the direction these are going, because then we'll continue talking, of course, about our rumored Hulk.
Yeah.
Don't want to imagine what that's going to be if Spider-Man's going to be 50. I mean,
I think because what was the 20th anniversary Hulk? Do you remember? Was that 40?
Yeah, maybe. Weren't they all the same price?
No, the Hulk was more expensive. Yeah.
Wait, which the 20? Oh, okay. Well, I think he was like 40, 45, maybe.
Yeah,
like
I was thinking he was 40. The others were 30. Or something like that, but yeah, maybe he was up to 45, which I think makes sense because Man-Thing was also a $40 figure, right? Same with Scar. Like I said, that Red Hulk. So that's your standard. Like, this is coming with like maybe a set of hands, maybe an alternate head, for $40 would be your Hulk. Now you're gonna pack in. I don't know if it would be as many accessories as what Spider-Man's coming with, because does Hulk really need that many hands? Like, give him grabbing and punching and clapping, I guess is the rumor, but outside of that, that's really all the hands he's going to need. But I mean, because Odin came pretty packed out with accessories, and he was a $60 figure. Hulkbuster was larger than a deluxe. He was $60. I think Hulk would. I think he would surpass that, but I don't think it would be by much. Like, I don't think we would be going into like $75 territory. I think he would be
70 or something, maybe.
Yeah, like 65, 70. I would assume as the max. Commenters, let us know in the comments, because
the maximum, you might say.
Yeah, the maximum price for the maximum the Hulk. I'm excited to see it, because I sold off my green Hulk because I was like, oh, the new one's coming, I want that. But do I want it for $75? I don't know. That's
because again, you're talking about like the figure itself is not like a I mean, the posability that can improve, but it's not going to be that much better than the standard Legends. It's just, what are you getting on top? And yeah, I think as you're saying, I don't think what's coming on top is like worth a $30 price hike.
And
personally,
you'd have to remind me, because I spend my money and then I'm over it. But what was Dragon Man? Wasn't Dragon Man 85 or something like that?
Was he 80 or 85?
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. You're gonna tell me 80. That Hulk is more, than Dragon Man? Because that seems like we're getting into like that. Then it just doesn't make sense,
Make it make sense. Yeah, it's the logic falls apart. So I think maybe it's more just we try to be a little more cautious, because if it's less than what you think, it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I don't usually go right to like the deluxe Spider-Man should be $30. It's like, it's just not feasible. Like, there's no way.
Because I'm pretty sure the Superior Spider-Man was like $30, wasn't it?
Right.
And this is obviously more than that. So.
Yeah. So I think 40. I'm gonna plant my flag. Oh, 45.
Okay.
49.99.
No.
Get or out. Not, or 44.99. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. I'm gonna say Hasbro is gonna, because this is made for the fans, Jordan. Hasbro's not gonna screw us over here. This is gonna be $40.
Right.
If this is 35, I'm buying two. If it's in the 40s, I'll buy one. If it's 50, I'm passing.
I think back to the Spider-Man 2 video game figure that was 35, though. I think that gives me Spider-Man pricing trauma.
But I think that I would be shocked if they sold many of those Spider-Mans at that price. I'm sure they maybe sold a couple, that may have been also because that Spider-Man from the previous release was going so high. Like, I think I had that Spider-Man and I never played the game, so I sold it for like $75. So,
but dude, everybody is saying this is like the definitive. Everyone's stoked for this Spider-Man.
It's like every Spider-Man is the definitive Spider-Man when they put it out. Like,
but I'm just saying,
give it another year,
like,
there's going to be another definitive Spider-Man.
Sure, but that doesn't change the mind of the consumer. That's like, this is the Spider-Man. I need it. So it's like, I think at that point, some of it doesn't. I don't know. I agree. I'd like to think they're going to be like, this is for the fans. This is $40 at the most. I think that'd be cool. But then you also got people like me who have a bunch of Spider-Mans. I have the Mayfix Spider-Man, and I'm still like, would I buy this for $50? You know, so you got to think about that.
Yeah.
For me,
I get.
Maybe
that.
I'm just bracing myself.
And like, no shame on anybody that does spend $50. If this is $50, if you really want this, and this is like going to be your Spider-Man, this is exactly what you want, and $50 to you is worth it, then that's fine. To me though, it's not worth it. I'm going to stick with my Amazing Friends Spider-Man for $50, and I'm going to be just as happy there. So
no, it's fair. I think I'd be bummed to like not get it just with the new body, all the new stuff on it. I'm like, man, I really would like to get my hands on that, and I doubt if it's marked at 50, it's going to go down unless it like.
No, I think so. I think this is going to be one that no matter what the price is, once it sells out, it's going to go up. I think. For me, though, it's a new Spider-Man body. They don't make bodies to just one and done with most of them. So, especially on a Spider-Man, they're going to put this Spider-Man out. Again, he's probably not going to come with all those web effects. You're going to miss a few hands. But I'll just grab that Spider-Man down the road. But this is the look I would like my Spider-Man to have. Yeah. But, you know, got to have
exact
price.
Style.
I would buy. But
right in your Q zone.
All right, so that's Spider-Man and Hulk. I think time will tell on Hulk. Very excited to see that. But let's go beyond the rumors. We had a lot of great comments on our last video when we were talking about the leaks of these Maximum figures. Now we've had a little bit more time to kind of come up with maybe our own offerings. You can do like a back and forth here. I'll go, you go type of thing.
Love it.
All right, so I'm going to start you off with, and I think to preface, I think most of these characters we have on our list are pretty popular characters, because I don't think, like, even though you have like the Super Apes on your bingo card for the year, that doesn't really make sense for this Maximum thing. This seems like it's supposed to be like the maxed out versions of characters they sell often. Right. So
yes,
I'm going to go, I think it's still within that realm, but I'm going to go with a Mr. Fantastic as my first pick. Yeah. Now, I think with the movie coming out, honestly, I could see the entire Fantastic Four getting this sort of Maximum treatment, because each character, I think, has enough like power sets, or they could use the effects to go with it. But I think Mr. Fantastic needs it the most. You're definitely going to have to give him a long torso. Should it be bendy wire torso? I don't really care. I'm okay with it just being a long, stretched out torso. I was thinking it'd be kind of cool to get like a kind of curved one, but as long as there's a stretched out,
maybe, but give
a little bit
pieces.
Yeah, you're also going to need a mushed face. So I want like he's fighting somebody and somebody like punched him and his face is kind of like,
ooh,
you know what I mean?
I love that. That's
so
a great
like,
idea.
Pose one of my figures with like their fist like in his hand, sort of like the retro Sandman, how he's got like the hole in his head, where it's like you could do like the Spider-Man like thwipping through, and it's a little bit like that but different. Then I'm gonna need some like good Mr. Fantastic accessories. We've got those like stretchy fingers, throw them in there, whatever, but I want like a stretched out arm hammer hand, kind of like the Toy Biz, my very first ever Marvel Legend I had. I want that hammer hand. I want that stretched out giant hand for...
Oh, I love that giant hand too, dude. That was just... Oh, yeah.
Just give me something to bitch slap the ninjas with or something, you know? Then I'm going to need something a little bit more gimmicky. I don't even... This seems a little more Plastic Man. Plastic Man. But I'm going to need a lasso hand. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Okay.
I don't know if Mr. Fantastic really ever does. I think he more like stretches out and just kind of like grabs, but some sort of effect like that. I need him roping in the bad guys. And then we're going to give him a soft goods lab coat too. I think, you know, with all these like portable arms and stuff, Mr. Fantastic is one of those characters that he's come with the like interchangeable. Like you can have him with the lab coat or you can have him without it. Now we're just going to give him the soft goods version. And I think those never really like sit very like flush, but I think I'm expecting him more like in the lab coat fighting off, you know, the bad guys trying to like steal some technology or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. What about the classic buzzsaw hand?
Ooh.
Do you remember there's an old the movie one that
the movie one. That was fun.
I never understood the physics of his hand becoming a buzzsaw. It didn't really quite make sense, but no,
but it's
I think
a comic book, so
that's true.
It doesn't have to make perfect sense.
That's right. Yeah, I think Mr. Fantastic is a good pick. I think of all the Fantastic Four, people would probably want that one the most to start, and then maybe they could start filling them out because, all of them could have accessories out the wazoo. For me, my first one, I'm just going to go with a classic Dakota, and I'm going to say Iron Man. Maybe sounds a little basic, but following the model of it's a popular character and you're just getting all his stuff, I think Iron Man's a no-brainer. They always got to put him out. The look he'd have, I'm not quite sure on that. Maybe you could help me flesh it out, what look they would go with for a maximum Iron Man.
I feel like they've got enough classic, like the red and yellow versions.
Yeah.
Because they've got the 20th is that way, the new Secret Wars is that way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could see doing something a little bit more like the 80th, where it's more of the, like, shiny gold with the red.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see something like almost like an update for the 80th, maybe with that newer sculpt or something.
Yeah,
I could see that.
And give him butterfly joints. I don't think any Iron Man has butterfly joints. So there you go.
Right, so you're gonna tool up the body a little bit. He's of course gonna get blasters, but it's gonna just be. I'm just so sick and tired of those little tiny pea shooter blasters. So give me the big blast, give me a unibeam effect. It's not like it's coming out like a full on, it's coming out of his chest. I think you could probably give him some cool ones for his feet that are actually like, again, big blasts, like he's flying. Maybe even a little stand for him. That could be the next step in Maximum. Give him something to stand on. I think some heads for sure. Maybe just your Tony Stark head, your mast head. I'd like to see some battle damage, but maybe I'm wishing for too much with battle damage on that, Dakota.
What if this is your Iron Man, so you can veto it if you want to, but what if you gave him that like really haggard, like demon in a bottle cover, like what am I doing kind of face?
That'd be good. Or what about this? You get Toy Biz style faceplate removed head.
Oh, yes.
So it's like the window, but it's just an alternate head you pop on. I would go for that, actually.
Somebody was in our comments on the live stream reveal stuff saying they miss that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Well, because it's always he's got the helmet or it's off. I always like that on Toy Biz. It's kind of fun. You take his little helmet off. So I think that'd be a fun feature, a nice little nod to those. I think the big selling point would just be new blast effects that we haven't seen that are just a little more display worthy for me of Iron Man that actually give you some big blasts. And I think people would be happy with that. I think he could use some cool effects, and that'd be my first thought for sure as an Iron Man.
Yeah, I like that, and I'd probably get that. I love Iron Man figures. I think that it's a very toyetic type of character that
maybe he comes with the suit and a briefcase thing going on, like something like that. I don't know. Like you could open it.
Yeah, kind of like the Hydra Bob, and then just take out whatever, like the flask and stuff that's in Hydra Bob's thing, and then just put, like a mask and gloves or something like that.
Easy money.
Easy money.
Okay.
All right. This next one, I want this figure, but also I think Ryan is going to really want this figure. So, Ryan, if you're listening, this one's for you, but it's a little for me, too. I'm going to say a Gambit. Now, the Gambits that we've had are cool, but they could be so much cooler. I've never had the Mafex Gambit. That one looks pretty sweet. But at the same time, I also don't know if I love the head on that Mafex Gambit. But if they ever do a re-release, that's one of the very few Marvel figures I would probably pick up. But this Gambit from Maximum Marvel Legends, he's going to come with your normal head. You got to have that. He's going to come with a smiling head. Gambit's a little jokester, He's going to have a yelling head. He's going all out with the fighting. I'm going to give him maybe a kind of a grinning ponytail head, kind of like without the mask and everything. Then I can use that for a head swap onto my Rose, and then boom, there's my Episode 5 X-Men 97 look. Then
can't even say the title, so I'll start crying.
Yeah. This last time I watched it, I think finally for the 6th time, tears didn't leak from my eyes. It was close. It's probably just because I was watching it with my dad. I'm not going to cry with my dad, so I was like, keep him in. Without my dad, if I watch it tonight, maybe I'd cry. You got to get a staff with Gambit. Gambit has to come with a staff. But in addition to the regular staff, we're going to get a charged up staff. Maybe it's going to have kind of the like crackle effects coming off of the ends. Then we're going to get, just the normal charged playing card that he always comes with. We're going to get the throwing charged cards, but we're going to retool it to flip. So now he can be throwing with both hands. We're going to get cards like Wolverine from the Sabretooth 2-pack got. So just, non-charged up. Gambit's just got his playing cards there. Maybe a deck of cards. I don't know if Gambit's ever come with a deck of cards. I think the Mafex maybe does. Kind of like a brick,
Oh, I don't think so.
It's like he can be holding the deck here and charging one card here.
Right.
And then last, you're going to get the soft goods coat. I would love if it was wired, but I think even just soft goods, I don't like I said, I'm going to have my Gambit in action poses. It's going to be all right. He can. It doesn't have to sit flush exactly.
I'd love for the debut of a wired coat, though. That'd be great to roll out in this line. I think it would be a nice touch.
That's true.
Yeah, I think Gambit makes sense, and I've always felt the Gambits can look cool, but feel very limited. Especially, he's the one character I think that it's very tough to have the plastic trench coat because it's just you can't do much with them. So. Yeah. I could see people being real excited about a Gambit, and I think that would satisfy that itch for all the resurgence, maybe not resurgence, but reemergence perhaps of Gambit love after that fateful episode. So I could see it. I like it. My pick is also going to be from the realm of the X-Men, but I'm going to go with a villain, Dakota, and I'm going to say Magneto.
Yeah.
I think we're due for a classic comic Magneto. I mean, we had the X-Men 97 one, but I think we could use just a standard comic version. I think you kind of have some of the Mafex stuff going on. You're going to get your classic look. You got like those wavy effects. I want to have some of those. Maybe it's like, they're coming out of his hands, like some bent metal, maybe like some beams and that kind of stuff. I think it'd be cool if they did the technology a little more Mafexy, where like maybe Mezco-y. Maybe both, where you can like plug in the hand and the hand has the effect. Like I would love that rather than like I'm going to pour it onto him. Like you have his hand and then it's like a fist that has the energy coming out. I think would be cool. I want a classic head, just classic unmasked Magneto head. You're going to have your masked head, and guess what, Dakota? You're also going to get the helmet so he can hold it, cradle it in his arm. Again, we're pulling from this Toy Biz technology that I think actually is cool with the mask helmets coming on.
Oh, so you want the helmet to come on and off?
Well, no, I want him to have a unmasked head, a masked head, and then just his helmet. And he can like hold his helmet, And my dream for this, Dakota, would be the debut of the wired cape. I think this would be the time to do it for sure. I think that would really send shockwaves to be like, wow, I can get a Magneto like this with a wired cape from Marvel Legends. I'm in. I mean, the cloth cape as it is, I don't know if that would do Magneto justice, but maybe you could do a plastic one on there probably at this point. But that'd be my...
I kind of wonder, I'm sure they've maybe tried, but I think just with the plain non-wired soft capes, if they like stitched it in there kind of like over itself, kind of like with the like, adding in like those fake ruffles onto the top, if that would kind of give it some volume off the shoulders. Because I think that's kind of the thing with Magneto is like his cape's not usually just like going down his back, kind of like with it does make sense with Doctor Doom, because I think Doctor Doom's got more of that heavy cape that just falls straight down. Yeah, Magneto's is more usually like up and billowing. So I think wired cape, or you might have to stick with the plastic. But they got to get that wired technology, and I'm sure they know about it.
I mean, they're listening to us, so they have to know that we want it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Magneto would be a solid villain to roll out as a maximum figure. Yeah,
I think so too. I think so. This is going to be my third. I've got some honorable mentions here, and I think I'm just going to briefly mention them because I could do a whole nother series on these. I'll give you my
You actually
character and
just
what they're
might.
coming with. That's true.
Stay tuned.
I think Daredevil would be an honorable mention. He's got to come with sonar effects, and I'd want him to have a cross base. Elektra is another one, and here's my gimmick for this. She would have a torso that's magnetic, so that you could port a psi on the front and a or maybe not even the psi on the front, but mostly the back, so you could have like the raised like fabric costume. So she's getting kind of like you could have your bullseye stabbing her. That'd be kind of cool.
Wow.
All right,
that's next level.
On to the actual number 3. Much more classic, much more I think needed in the Marvel. Well, I need an Elektra, but as far as big names go, I'm going to say a Thor. He could probably use a wired cape as well, but at least soft goods, we'll see what they could do there. Similar to Magneto, I think he's got more of the billowy cape. It's got to have some volume. We're going to get a normal head with him. You're going to get a smiling head. I mean, imagine him like, in the tavern drinking after a battle. You're going to get a yelling head for the battle. You're going to get...
Or the tavern.
Yeah, true. You're going to get a pointing hand. Because I think, Captain America usually comes with the pointing hands, but I think Thor could also, he's, pointing at the frost giants saying, you're about to fall. You're going to get that spinning effect with the hammer that came with the Ragnarok Thor.
Okay.
That's the only Thor that's ever come with, I think, for Marvel Legends. But definitely got to be coming with more. Then you got to get some lightning effects. You got those brand new electro lightning effects. Let's start using those on Thor. Like I said, soft goods cape of some sort. And then the last effect he's coming with is a Throg, the Thor Frog of Thunder. So
very nice.
I think Marvel Legends has got to do that at some point. Don't be putting that in a box with somebody else and don't call this a 2-pack. It's not a 2-pack. It's a little accessory. I think it'd be fun to see, though.
Yeah. I think Thor's a solid pick, and I think, he definitely...
Now I'm just imagining the, toad frogs, doctored up to, have a little bit more tooling on it, and it's got a Thor hat and cape.
Frog.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun. I think people would go for that. I do love that Thor spinning hammer effect, so I think...
I do, too.
If you could put that with another decked-out, classic-looking Thor, I'd probably have to get that, I think, too, because I don't have the 80th anymore, so I don't have...
Do I have a Thor in my collection? I've got the Destroyer 2-pack Thor.
Yeah, I have that one, too, but I'd like the classic.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, we got to have a classic look for this one.
Of course. Okay, for me, I think my honorable mentions, I think we'll need some spellcasters. Those 3 that I think of off the top of my head are Doctor Doom, for sure, Scarlet Witch, and I would even go for a Doctor Strange, I think, in that style. I think we'd see those eventually if this is going to continue, but you know what I mean, just load it out with the effects. All of them, I'd love to get that wired cape in there, but Doom or Scarlet Witch would probably be my most... No, probably Scarlet Witch, because I'm pretty happy with my Doom setup right now. But those would be sweet. One that I'm going to actually go with for a third is going to be another X-Men Dakota, and I'm going to say Iceman. Because once again, I think we're kind of overdue for just a classic standard Iceman. A lot of Iceman fans out there. And to me, there's no shortage of stuff you could do with him. You can get like the old Toy Biz, like a ice blast type base thing. You could have him shooting ice. I would love if it's here's 2 or 3 pieces, you put them together and it's like an ice slide. You could put it on a little stand or something. Oh, and then if you'd have his hands connecting to the ice slide, oh, heck yeah. What does he look like, Dakota? I know you love that translucent look. Is that too far for Iceman, or do you think we could see it there?
I feel like you'd probably go more of the retro, where it's kind of
opaque.
Kind of an opaque.
Snowy.
I like the idea of the translucent, and I don't know if it's possible to do a painted translucent figure where some of the translucent would show through to have that icy effect on him.
Maybe some of the effects could have that.
True. Yeah.
Best of both worlds, then.
Yeah. I don't think you do the
shield.
snowy one for this one.
No, I'm thinking this is more like literal ice, in his
Yeah.
little undies. But yeah, you need the slide. You need probably an ice shield, an ice beam. Again, similar. I'd love to get some of that tech where it's just coming out of his hands. It's not like a clip-on thing, because I just get too nervous with that stuff. But yeah, I think there's no shortage of those. He probably gets a couple extra heads. He's smiling. He's looking intense.
He's another one that like needs a smiling head, because I imagine always like he's got that like Spider-Man personality. Maybe not quite joking quite as much as Spider-Man, but still like he's kind of the funny guy on the X-Men, and that's what I think was missing out of that Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends 3-pack was there was no smiling Iceman, and that Iceman from the show is always smiling. So
a little too stoic. So yeah, I think Iceman would be, again, not like a figure they make a ton, but I think it would make a lot of sense for this format, and I think would be the one that people are like, if I'm going to buy an Iceman, that's my Iceman I'm getting. So
for sure.
And then, just to come full circle, you can buy me one to make up for the one that you exploded years ago.
I already bought you a replacement.
Well, that one is in package because I don't want him to explode, Dakota.
True. All right, folks. So there you have it. Those are our 6 ideas. Sprinkle in a few honorable mentions. We're going to have, I don't know, I could do probably at least 3 more episodes like this. So if you like this kind of episode, let us know, because I like building these offerings out. We're going to have some members-only content coming soon, too. We've got Strong Collectors After Dark on the horizon. So if you're not a member yet, feel free to join. Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, stay strong.